Awakening to a pleasant sunrise, our survivor looks over his work with immense joy. Taken some inspiration from the pillager outpost, I see. Avalon is quickly taking shape, and our survivor relishes in the thought that he may one day be safe from all external threats in this world. However, he acknowledges that this village is still unfinished, and moreover could use some new pairs of hands for further construction. Our survivor thinks that Avalon has great potential to become a thriving society, based on the rapid progress they have made thus far. But X and the survivor must induct more citizens if they wish to achieve and maintain true peace in this world. Unfortunately, the server is not very active at this point in time, so recruiting new Avalonians may be a bit difficult. Now our survivor is exchanging his flashy chapeau for the more humble leather cap. Despite the benefits which a fully enchanted diamond helmet may bring to our survivor, he prefers the simplistic nature and rugged good looks that a cow's naked skin provides his scalp. Besides, who needs the 1 point of armor protection anyway? Our survivor is not much of a fashion enthusiast, but he does have good taste in headwear. And it seems that this hat suits him rather well. Perhaps, our survivor thinks, it will act as a sort of crown by which his people can better recognize him in chaotic scenarios. If they were to have to pan out, that is. Oh, it appears X is trying to get his attention. Lovely what he's done with the place. Lush, decorative overgrowth seems to be his specialty. He seems to be looking for some adventure. Understandably so. Tirelessly bobbing his head in and out of water to decorate the bottom of a lake may get boring after a little while. Our survivor will accept his offer. Now is as good a time as any to go exploring. With few players online, this could be a prime opportunity to collect more resources and continue shaping the land which Avalon was built on. The two begin exploring, both still quite new to this world, and they happen to stumble upon something interesting. It seems our survivor is not the only newcomer to this server. Oh, and someone else is nearby. Surely it's not the inhabitant of this structure. Such an ugly home can mean but one thing. A noob. Should we do something? No, X. Let's just leave the poor fellow there to die. Take some cover now. Come on, X. Let's be careful about this. Yes. Smart, X. Camouflaging the bed. Perhaps you're not entirely useless. I suppose it's time to intervene. Notice how our survivor did not set his spawn. Our survivor's plan is a simple demonstration of sagaciousness. He sees something, he keeps it in the back of his head. He's confronted with danger, he adapts. And apparently hits his friend. The simple principles of survival require one to be adaptable and quick on their feet. Who better to demonstrate these principles than our survivor? He understands the propensity of his predators, and that is what's kept him breathing thus far. Their strategy of fighting this noob killer back to back seems to be working so far, hence our survivor's relaxation. The noob is getting well away from them, but X has left. What is he thinking? Our survivor cannot possibly fight off this maniac by himself. There's no telling how many hearts he has obtained from this cruel spawn-killing technique. Our survivor quickly adjusts to the new set of circumstances. The three are being chased far from spawn, but with this noob killer in such close pursuit, how could they possibly escape back to Avalon without being followed? Whilst continuing to run away, our survivor calculates the many possible outcomes, and is at a loss for ideas. X is falling behind quite a bit now. He'd better speed up. What? Our survivor was not planning on this. X had just lost a heart because of him. He must think of a plan immediately. But as hard as he tries, the cogs in his brain simply won't turn. Focused entirely on survival at this point, our survivor continues to run and pray that the noob... It's too late. Our survivor is in a terrible situation. Scaling a slippery mountainside whilst being chased by someone twice as strong as him. What once was a controlled situation is now a desperate attempt to escape alive. Hopeless, our survivor is convinced that there is no escape from death in this scenario. His only other option is to pearl away and attempt to hide. But he's out of pearls. The reality of this situation is that our survivor will die. He knows this. And then it hits him. He might be unable to slay this filthy noob killer, but he can piss him off. Like clockwork, our survivor's last-minute revelation leads to the noob killer being stranded thousands of blocks away from them, and supplies the Avalonians way more than a vital amount of time to escape. Nice. No doubt X is leading the noob back to Avalon at this point. Our survivor will await patiently. Although he was more fortunate than his friends, having narrowly escaped the loss of all his items, our survivor still couldn't escape death. That's our survivor's first call to redeem someone else's heart. He does plan to share and distribute his wealth out among the Avalonians, but he fears that he will require this heart in order to continue exploring. Luckily, this extra heart, which our survivor so rightfully obtained from the Obsidian Outpost, can fill our survivor's chest cavity for the time being. Satisfied with the semi-successful recruit, X and the survivor continue exploring. You'd think that in such a large server, our survivor would encounter more unscathed territory. However, he and X seem to come across strange structures and people everywhere they go. Yet another exploration trip has been transformed into an eerie investigation as our Avalonians discover a portal. Upon further inspection, our survivor realizes that this portal has something hidden behind it. Keeping his wits about him, he makes his way through the sketchy tunnel, X following closely behind. Our Avalonians observe a series of rooms. A quick dash for loot. Obsidian, nice. Whoever built this place must have had more resources than they knew what to do with. Wait a minute, this is another prison. My god, how many prisons are on this server? At least this one's a bit original, incorporating a skeleton spawner. There's only one cell. Very strange indeed. The security for this place seems extra lackluster, everywhere except for the cell itself. Our survivor wonders if the prisoner is even that dangerous. Perhaps he was only locked up in here as a taunt. Based on the signs surrounding the prisoner, this seems a likely scenario. Our survivor knows this type of imprisoner very well, through the gruesome details that X has spared of his slaving experience. This server knows no peace, no mercy, and it knows freedom for only those who have the power to sustain it. Charming. So these signs seem to indicate that the prisoner was locked in here on one heart. After some contemplation, our survivor decides it better to hold on to his gear. There's no telling how quickly this lad may try to betray him. As much as he'd like to place his trust in him, whoever locked him up in here forced him through purgatory, a chamber of constant death. If you're only on one heart, that is. They can't have done that for nothing. Then again, if Lunar is as cruel as X made them out to be, I wouldn't be very surprised. They'd better take their leave before they get caught now. Wait, what? Alarms. Hopefully they can escape through the tinted window faster. Our survivor fears he has made a huge mistake. Of course! This establishment was built by the very same people who enslaved X and attempted to murder him. By freeing yet another of their prisoners, our survivor was poking the belly of a dangerous bear. Lunar. They're here. All hope is lost. Our survivor has accidentally waged war against a Goliath, a seemingly unstoppable army with unlimited resources. No matter how strong his will is to live, our survivor cannot possibly get the three of them out of this bunker alive. It was a trap all along. Of course. How could our survivor have been so foolish? The guards were teleported here via the alarm system. This is a deadly scenario indeed. The prisoner is one hit away from permanent death, and the guards are covering all possible paths to escape. Although 2 more hearts is still not enough to survive a single jab of a sword, the prisoner can at least put his pearls to use now. If the 3 of them hope to slip past these guards, they will have to be as unpredictable and maneuverable as never before. An opportunity! The 3 have managed to evade 2 of the guards. They must use this newfound freedom to form some sort of plan. A thought. Our survivor wants to turn the tables, but he knows that his plan will be difficult to execute. He attempts to keep the guards held back, whilst indicating for X and the prisoner to load pearls of their own into the stasis chambers. If they could evade the noob killer from earlier by living just the right length of time, surely they could pull off a similar stunt again. Of course, death is one means of transportation, but they no longer have an ender chest at their disposal. So if they were to die, all of their gear would be lost to the behemoth Lunar. Knowing the gaucheness of his enemies, it is clear to our survivor that the Lunarians love to chase, but are clearly not very tactical. They just love to chase, and fight, and win. But powerful gear does not always trump strategic fighting. In this scenario, there's not much they can do but run and hope to escape. But our survivor does have one more trick up his sleeve. He must be fast now. His Avalonian friends are still running for their lives, and if the prisoner takes even the slightest bit of damage, this plan would fail. Of course, he should also be concerned for his own life. He tries to be as graceful in his movement as possible. But this is also a bit of a nerve-wracking situation, considering the stakes. He could have a whole new recruit for Avalon, and save a poor man from permadeath. Or he could mourn the loss of all his gear, and say goodbye to 2 hearts. Granted, the stakes are still much higher for the prisoner, but our survivor would hate to lose a new friend, as well as make enemies with an army of juggernauts in the same day. Oh, the prisoner is leaping down a hole. A huge leap of faith indeed, considering how long the 2 will have to buy our survivor time in order for him to successfully teleport them back to the stasis chambers. Oh, they'd better run around this cave as best as they possibly can. All it takes is a single dead end, or even the slightest bit of fall damage to end the whole charade. Oh, and there's another guy. Feel free to join them down there. They're having a great time, trust me. Apologies for that one, guys. Our survivor must be going now. He has to hurry and hope that the Lunarian guards don't catch on to his plan. Decidi, the prisoner, either made the best decision of his life jumping down that hole, or quite possibly the worst. Ender Pearls will deal Decidi 2.5 hearts of damage, meaning death if he's at any lower than 3 hearts of health. Oh, our survivor has run into a bit of an obstacle. Thankfully, he's got a water bucket. I wonder how many people watching this wouldn't have thought to do that. Don't deny it, part of your brain wanted to mine through that obsidian with nothing but a fist. Oh, hello, yes, welcome. Oh, right, Decidi here has only half a heart. Perhaps a fine gourmet meal will help him. Funny, isn't it? How you can literally fall from a 10-story building in this game and recover by eating a few carrots. Anyways, it seems our survivor's plan was successful. He had the feeling that the Lunarians would not think much of the tools at our Avalonians' disposal. Our survivor is satisfied with today's accomplishments. Now, perhaps they could return home to see if Gravel, the other Avalonian, had done any good work. Akin to our survivor's first day on the server, he has infiltrated yet another dangerous Lunarian prison. What can he say? He has a bit of a knack for breaking out of jail. Ah, the glorious sight of progress. Wow, not bad. It seems the noob just needed a pallet. Quite impressive, really, what he's done with the place in such short time. And he's even sewn a flag. Our survivor has missed having a shield. Quite stupid of him, really, to go out venturing before having crafted a new shield. I suppose the noob has earned the right to be referred to by name. Gravel has demonstrated great potential. However, now is not the time to train or gear up. Quite frankly, our survivor is exhausted. Now that the hard work of adapting to terrifying scenarios is over, our survivor and his friends want to experience the simple pleasures of man. His cap in one hand and a bottle of rum in the other. Well, isn't this lovely? Our survivor has taken quite a liking to the tavern. By far the most relaxing place of all. Well, on second thought, X's lake is a true work of art. They've really started something beautiful, and our survivor ecstatically imagines what Avalon will one day grow to be. Oh, Decity, the new guy, seems to want some fresh air. Perhaps our survivor will join him. Oh, this is more serious than he anticipated. Ah, of course. Good man. Our survivor drank so much he'd nearly forgotten about his gaping chest cavity. Very kind of him, though, to return the hearts while already on such little health. A noble man indeed. So it seems Decity plans to go off on his own. Our survivor fears how Decity may fare out in the wilderness. One heart isn't exactly an ideal amount for really anything in this game. Unfortunately, though, Decity seems determined to follow another path which lies ahead of him, and nobly to do so without taking anybody else's hearts. Although this man's path does not quite align with our survivors, he has a strange feeling that he may see him again someday. Well, although our survivor put quite a bit on the line by seeing Decity's rescue fully through, he believes in liberation, in freedom. He wishes a hearty farewell to the rejuvenated prisoner, and with that, they both part ways. Wait, what?